Here we are at island-wide palm trees. We're going to wrap up this 8-foot windmill palm tree you see here. If you bought one of our plastic kits, you're going to receive 26 of these pipes that are screwed on. 2 fittings on each end, a fitting on each end. You're going to have our optional zipper doors, 2 of them. You'll have our plastic that you'll have to cut to size. Inside will also be your styrofoam top. There'll be a bag of clips there for you. You need at least 6 of them. Of these clips that'll clip onto the plastic to help secure the plastic. You'll have 4 vents. You'll have 4 pipes that are going to be used to make your roof. The top of the enclosure, also with these 4 3-way PVC pipes. What you're going to need to supply is a bungee cord, a Derma cube. You can buy at Home Depot or online. C9 Christmas lights, 25 count. Some duct tape, a mallet, a razor blade, a measuring tape, some cutters to trim up the windmill if you need to do that. And you have to supply your own galvanized top rail fence pipe, which is 1 3/8. And you're going to cut that to size. And you're also going to need green mesh. You can also buy at Home Depot to help secure the fronds when we tie them up, and you'll see that here in a second. All right, first thing you got to do, you want to tie up the windmill. Sometimes it helps if you have 2 people helping you, but I might be able to get this one myself. Beautiful. Now we have that tied up. I'm going to cut my mesh and also go get a ladder so we could connect our mesh to tie this up a little bit tighter. Pause. Okay, I like to cut my green mesh about 6 feet of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Forgot to mention, you need zip ties. And this just basically helps keeps the fronds nice and tight inside the enclosure. Now that you have that done, you're going to open up your Christmas lights. Like I said, these are C9 incandescent Christmas lights, the old-fashioned ones that give off a little bit of heat. And this is going to give off a little bit of heat, enough to just kind of keep this tree a little bit warm on those really cold days. So what you want to do is you want to start with the male end and leave it up top, maybe about 1 foot above the crown. This right here is the crown. This is really what we're protecting here with this enclosure right here. This is where the fronds come out of, and this is the most sensitive part of the tree. This is the part of the tree you want to keep dry. So like I said, about 1 foot above. Just going to start installing these lights going around. I just kind of hook it onto the mesh a little bit so it stays. you're just going to work your way around the trunk of the tree. Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is plug in our thermocube. Like I said, you could buy this online. This is thermocube. It kicks on at 35 degrees and off at 45. So what that means is when the temperature gets down to 35 degrees, the lights inside will turn on, and then they'll stay on until it gets to be about 45 degrees. Once they're on, they're not going to turn off until it gets to be 45 degrees. All right, and then they won't turn off until it gets, like I said, to 45. And once they turn off, they won't turn back on again until it gets to 35 degrees, give or take 5 degrees. So you're going to plug this in up here. You would normally run an extension cord up here to feed this, to supply this. We just don't have one here for this video. You'd plug this into your extension cord. You attach your thermocube. And then you can just zip tie this here, or zip tie your extension cord so it stays secure for you. All right? I'm gonna put a extension cord on here a little bit later on at another time. So now the next thing you want to do is you want to measure your tree. Now it's all tied up. And we're going to take a couple of different measurements here, but first you want to know what the overall height of the tree is. This one here is 9 foot. I'm going to cut my pipes 10 foot to give my tree room to grow so I can reuse it over and over again. You can always add on to your pipes if you wanted to. So our pipes are going to be 10 foot tall. Now the other measurements I want to keep into account is when I start making my frame, I want to attach my lower ones at least 8 inches above the ground, my first one, so I'm able to put on those white clips that we mentioned before to keep the plastic secure. So you want to be at least 8 inches away when you're starting. The next measurement you want to measure is to where your crown is, and this one here is about 5 feet. I want to start putting my next bracing about a foot below that, kind of like right about here, so I could, when we brace it up against it, it has some meat of the trunk to adhere to. And then the next one I want to do, so we'll put one at 4 feet, and then the next one will be about 7 feet 4 inches, and we're going to put a cross beam here, and you'll see that here in a second. So 4 feet and 7 feet 4 inches. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go set up my pipes, and you'll see that here in a second, and I'll show you how we do that. Pause. All right, here's my 4 10-foot inch and 3 inch top rail galvanized pipe. What I'd like to do is sort of set this up kind of like this. From this pipe to this pipe's going to be 6 feet, basically. So if you didn't have a wall where you could put it up against, you can get a straight edge and set yourself up like this and line your pipes up so that they stay even when you're making the enclosure. But luckily we have a wall here that's kind of even, so we're just going to push it up against the wall. So I said 4 feet, and I said 7 feet 4 inches, just so I know where I'm going to snap my other pieces on here. So I'm going to get my pieces now. Okay, pause. We got our pipes here. Like I said, there's 26 of these in your in the kit that we sent you. So I said I want to be at least 8 inches off from the bottom. This is going to be the bottom or the base of the frame. So on this tree is a little bit taller, so I'm going to go a little bit higher than 8 inches. Like I said, as a minimum, you want to be at least 8 inches. The next one, we said we want to go 4 feet to start it. And then we said 7 feet 4 inches. It'll be right about there. Boom. Snaps together pretty easy. Now you're going to set up your next set. Roll the pipe over so it lines up. You can just step right on it. All my pipes are still up against the wall, so when I open this up, this should be... I don't need a measuring tape anymore. I know where this is lined up now. Okay, in a minute, I'm going to open it, stand this up, and I'll show you how to do that. But first, I want to make the top now. So I'm going to make my top. And the easiest way to do this is to take one end like this, the other end like this, take 2 pipes, stand it in like that, like this, and then this should just pop right on nice and easy. Then you want to kind of hammer it down so the pipes sit inside, so they sit nice and even. This here is going to get a cross piece. All right. And also in your kit, we sent you the styrofoam. This might have been cut open and folded over on you, but we're going to show you how to do this here in a second. And this is where the mallet comes in very, very handy. So the easiest way to do this is to pick up one end, and I want you to take one of these pieces here where the top is, and you're going to lift up one end, and you're going to snap this piece right there. Now you can lift up the other end, step out from under it, and this kind of helps keep it squared and secured. Easiest thing to do now is keep this pipe up and down like this, so it makes it easy for you to tape on the top. So the first thing, we're going to attach our bottom pieces first. Just give it a little tap just so it sets in a little bit. Okay, once it's set in, now you can kind of give it like 2 or 3 hits. Step on the bottom pole when you're hitting it so it doesn't slide on you. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, now I could probably go in a little bit more, so go like another 3 more hits. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, that's pretty much set. Now we're just going to attach the top. This is going to help for any water pooling or snow pooling on the top of the frame. Just line it up and just tape it on. And there you go. All right, so what you want to do now is sort of pull this away from the wall, whatever it is you had it up against, and now you're going to walk it up. And there you go. So what you see here is we have an opening. We're going to slide this, we're going to pick this up and put the tree in this way, lift this over the top of the tree so we can get the tree in there. So now I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to walk over to my tree. Just slide that right in there. Okay. Get your box with the pieces. And these are all cut to the same size. You don't have to worry about it. These should all line up nice and neat. So you're going to click on down here below, across from the opposite one, because eventually we're going to put the pieces across here in a second. All right, so now that we have that piece is already up there, we don't have to worry about that. We're going to put our cross pieces down. The best thing to do is to work on the lower pieces first. Just snap them right on in. And now we can go the one step up above it. If you ended up putting the top pieces on like this, it's kind of hard now for you to get in there. You'd have to go through it. It's kind of a pain. So that's why we try to put this piece on here first before you do this section. All right, so now we're going to kind of straighten out the tree here. And get our screw gun. And we sent you some of these screws here. Now I'm going to level out this frame here in this tree. Right now, if we left this just like this is pretty loose. This will wobble in the wind. You really don't want that happening. So what we're going to try to do is sort of tighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to hit this bracing across here. Be careful you don't break a light as you're smushing them in. Just tap it in. Tap it in. You see we missed one across here, so we're going to put one on there now. All right, so this is taking a lot of the play out of there now that you see that we had in there with the wind. But what we're going to do is we're going to screw these on now. So these won't slide with the wind. Right now they can move a little bit. So we're going to actually put this up flush against the tree and we're going to screw these in right here to stop it from being able to slide. So there's like a little circle there. Just try to screw right into that. We'll pull this next one in up against the trunk of the tree. You're going to work your way around. Now, you want to make sure you push this in tight so it's nice and secure. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing now down below, and you're not going to see that just to save the video time. Pause. So now we got both levels all screwed in. This tree is not going to go anywhere, this frame. So what I want to do now is just to sort of center this crown, these fronds in the center, I'm just gonna wedge these up here. You don't have to screw these in, but I'm just gonna put them up there as extra bracing to help keep the fronds from touching the plastic. So like I said, we're gonna start on the bottom ones first. And the tops. And there you go. So, push it in a little bit. Now to keep the fronds kind of touching the plastic. Like I said, you don't have to screw these in. So now the next thing is we're going to cut our plastic for the frame here. We know that this is a 10-foot frame. So when we cut our plastic, we want to add on at least 1.5 feet before we cut our plastic. So we'll open up our plastic. Just do the measuring tape again. See the measuring tape? So now we're going to cut our plastic to size. There's a sealed end here. This is the end you want to measure from. You don't want to cut this end. This is the end that you want to go on top of the tree. So you're going to lay this out. And this here is the opened end. So we say it was a 10-foot cover. So you got to go at least 11.5 inches. 11.5's right here. I'll go a little bit more. And that's it. What I like to do also is while I'm going up there, bring myself some duct tape, because you got to duct tape the vents in. And bring 2 vents with you, because you're going up on a ladder. Here are the 2 vents. That way you have them up there. Now you're going to open up your plastic. Careful on the ladder if you're afraid of heights. Get someone to hold it for you. And you're going to work the plastic down. Okay, this plastic has a natural seam to it right here. You want to put the seam on the corners. You want to twist it. And then pull down on it. Okay, clamps. So you want to pull down on it pretty tight. And you said this is why you gave this at least 8 inches here, so you can put these clamps on. So what I like to do is on one of them, pull down tight, grab a lot of the slack, fold it over, and clamp it down. Clamp it down. Pull it down snug. Clamp it down. Pull it down snug. Clamp it down. Then I like to get part of the way up, and you can just kind of fold it in on itself again. Take out some of the slack. Hit one there. And then on the opposite corner. Here we go. Now we're going to install our 2 vents that we have on top of the ladder with the duct tape. Here's how these vents work. You lift up like this, and there's a pointy end. So you can lift up like this, stick the pointy end, pierce the plastic, and you're going to slide it up just like that. Then take some good duct tape, and you're going to tape this on there. So I like to tape this part of the vent and also the plastic so it catches. Put that on pretty snug, and just for extra security, tape the top. There you go. We do the same over here on this side. Don't make a difference. Just you got to vent 2 of the top sides. Whatever ones you want to do, whatever's easier for you. To me, it's just easier to do this side and that side. And this will help take out some of the moisture that'll build up in here. These vents. Now we're going to vent it also on the bottom. Go about 1 foot high, 2 foot high. And there you go. Now this tree is covered for the winter. You don't have to water it, you don't have to do anything. Now, in our bag, we gave you optional zipper doors to put in. It's up to you if you want to do it. Sometimes here in New York, we've getting crazy weather in January. It's even got up to 70 degrees. So it's good if you're able to open this up to be able to vent it even more than what the vents are doing if you wanted to, or for making an inspection to see if your lights are working. So the doors are right here, the zipper doors. And what you would do is put it up as high as you can, or as high as you can reach, and then just attach it. So I'll put one here as a demo, and you can see what I'm talking about. So secure it as best as you can with the duct tape. sometimes it gets too cold for the duct tape to stick. So that's why I say this window is sort of optional. And we gave you 2 of them. There you go. So now what you do is you can zipper it open right here and cut this open with a razor blade to give you access. So let me go get a razor blade. It helps if your razor blade is sharp. This one here is kind of dull. Now what I like to do is just cut a U with it. There you go. What you can do now is tape this end to here to make it a little bit easier for you. Kind of just fold this in on itself. Bring it up. And then you can just tape it just like that. So now if you wanted to, you have access here. I can get to my Thermocube when I run the extension cord back in here later. And you help airing out the tree. You can just sort of roll this up like this if you wanted to. And then take a piece of tape and just stick it up there like that. And I'll show you. There you go. So make sure, if you're going to use the door and the purpose of the windows, try to do this maybe twice a month to air this stuff out. It'd be better for you. And just make sure this is all buckled up and zippered up, you know, when the temperature gets down below 30 degrees. Okay? So all you got to do is just unzipper it, zipper it back up, and there you go. So here's our wrapping system from Island Wide Palm Trees. Great thing about this system, it's reusable, it snaps together, and I think you're going to love it. I think it's a pretty good system, and I'm sure it's going to work for you. It's been working for us, this system, for last year, 1 full season. The year before that, we wrapped it actually with wood frame and plastic, and we had to throw everything away. So this you don't have to throw away, you just have to buy new plastic each year from us. And we'll sell it to you, I think it's going to be $20 or $25 for each piece of plastic. And then at the end of the season, when you unwrap the tree, just cut this here with a razor knife, and you'll be able to reuse these doors over and over again. And thank you very much.